In the high-stakes world of the digital attention economy, Bonnie Blue is currently proving that there's a massive difference between being viral and being viable. We're witnessing a moment in creator history where a single individual has managed to trigger an international diplomatic crisis, while simultaneously costing a multi-billion-dollar corporation its entire foothold in the United Kingdom. To the casual observer scrolling through X or TikTok, Bonnie Blue is a marketing mastermind who knows exactly how to push the buttons of a conservative society to keep her bank account overflowing. But if you look at the actual filings, the regulatory crackdowns, and the internal movement of the payment processors, a much darker reality begins to emerge. The expectation is that Bonnie is an untouchable mogul of the blue site era, but the reality is that she is currently caught in a pincer movement between international law and the world's most powerful financial institutions. Today, we are going deep into the receipts and the reality to answer three critical questions that the industry is desperate to ignore. First, how did a single 60-second marketing stunt outside a university lead to a $40 million collapse for a global gaming giant? Second, why is the Indonesian government currently weighing a formal international red notice against her for a stunt performed in the heart of London? And third, what is the actual math behind her million-dollar claims when you factor in the massive scandal tax she is forced to pay to keep her money moving? The first major blow to the Bonnie Blue empire wasn't a ban, but a total corporate collapse that changed the landscape of UK sports sponsorship forever. According to a deep dive investigation by industry watchdogs in early 2025, Bonnie's partnership with the global gaming platform Stake became the final straw for the UK Gambling Commission. In the spring of 2025, Bonnie was filmed outside Nottingham Trent University in a heavily branded campaign that was intended to drive traffic to the site. The expectation was a high-engagement crossover between a major creator and a major betting brand. The reality was a regulatory nightmare. Per official reports from TGP Europe, the operator for Stake's UK license, the commission viewed this specific collaboration as a predatory move targeting university-age students with adult-themed marketing. The fallout was immediate. Within weeks, Stake was forced to announce a complete withdrawal from the UK market, a move that analysts estimate cost the company over $40 million in lost annual revenue and marketing capital. This wasn't just a minor fine, it was a total deplatforming of a multi-billion-dollar entity. According to Business Insiders on February 12, 2025, the impact was so severe that it triggered a massive re-evaluation of how adult creators are allowed to interact with regulated industries. The reality of this brand disaster is that Bonnie Blue has become a toxic asset for any mainstream corporation. When a single creator can be linked to the loss of a Premier League tier sponsorship and a national market exit, the marketing genius narrative starts to look more like a marketing suicide mission. While the corporate world was reeling, the most shocking escalation of the Bonnie Blue saga was unfolding on the doorstep of international diplomacy. According to reports from the Metropolitan Police and the Indonesian Ministry of Foreign Affairs on February 10, 2026, Bonnie Blue staged a provocative demonstration outside the Indonesian embassy in London. Following her highly publicized detention and deportation from Bali for violating public order laws with her mobile studio work, she appeared in London with the Indonesian national flag. Per the footage and subsequent legal complaints, the flag was used in a manner that local authorities in Jakarta have categorized as criminal desecration under Article 154A of the Indonesian Penal Code. This is where the story moves from industry drama to an international legal crisis. The reality of this situation is far more dangerous than a simple PR stunt. According to legal experts interviewed by the Daily Mail on February 15, 2026, the Indonesian government has the authority to request an Interpol red notice for individuals who commit what they deem to be serious national insults, regardless of where they are in the world. While the UK is unlikely to extradite a citizen for such an offense, the reality is that Bonnie has effectively turned herself into a global fugitive in the eyes of one of the world's largest emerging markets. The expectation was that this would be a revenge post to show she was unbothered by her Bali arrest. The reality is that she has legally barred herself from a massive portion of the globe and placed a permanent target on her back for international law enforcement. The pressure of these legal battles leads us to the reality of the numbers she is currently touting. In early February 2026, Bonnie Blue made headlines again by claiming she had completed a record-breaking session with 400 men in a single 24-hour period. The expectation she presents to her followers is one of astronomical wealth and total dominance over her primary platforms. But the reality of the adult industry's financial plumbing tells a different story. According to a specialized report on high-risk payment processing published in late 2025, creators who are banned from the primary Blue site face a massive payment penalty known as the scandal tax. When Bonnie was deplatformed in June 2025 for her glass box stunt, she was forced to migrate to secondary sites. Per industry data, secondary platforms often lack the massive internal traffic of the market leader, meaning creators have to spend significantly more on external ads to stay relevant. Furthermore, because her brand is now associated with international legal risk and regulatory shutdown, her payment processing fees are rumored to be as high as 15% per transaction. According to an anonymous industry insider speaking to The Guardian on January 20th, 2026, when you subtract the 20% platform cut, the 15% processing fee, the massive legal retainers for her ongoing embassy case, and the 50% management fee taken by the agencies that engineer these stunts, her actual take-home pay is likely less than 25% of the gross number she claims. The reality of the 400-man session isn't a celebration of wealth, it's a desperate attempt to generate enough gross revenue to cover the skyrocketing overhead of being the most controversial woman in the industry. The manipulation of the audience through these stunts is a core part of the Bonnie Blue business model. According to a psychological analysis of creator marketing in the 2026 outrage economy, Bonnie relies on what is known as negative engagement loops. She makes a statement designed to offend, such as her comments about being a better partner than a man's wife, knowing that the backlash will drive thousands of hate clicks to her profile. The expectation is that she is winning because she is being talked about, but the reality is that this model has a very short lifespan. Per the UK Online Safety Act guidelines enforced by Ofcom in early 2026, platforms are now being held legally responsible for harmful content clusters. This means that the very controversy Bonnie uses to grow her brand is the same thing that will eventually lead to her being banned from secondary platforms like X and Instagram. According to government briefings on February 18, 2026, new regulations are being drafted to target creators who use public nuisance tactics to sell spicy content. The reality is that Bonnie is currently operating in a window of time that is rapidly closing. She is the final beneficiary of a loophole that the government is actively sewing shut. The physical and mental toll of this model is also something that is rarely discussed in the viral clips. Per an interview she gave to a high-tier podcast in late 2025, Blue admitted to the immense stress of being the most hated person in the room. The expectation is a lifestyle of luxury and total freedom, but the reality is a constant state of legal defense and platform instability. According to documents leaked during her Bali detention, her travel schedule is dictated entirely by which countries will still grant her a visa, and her production schedule is dictated by which platforms haven't banned her yet. This isn't freedom, it's a high-speed chase where the law is finally starting to catch up. The reality check came when her Australian visa was officially cancelled in 2025. Per the Australian Home Affairs Department, her presence was deemed not conducive to the public good. When you can no longer enter the UK's most similar markets, your ability to create the international jet-set content that fans expect begins to wither. Behind the scenes, the agencies that manage these creators are the ones truly pulling the strings. According to an investigative piece by the BBC on the agency model of the adult industry, many of the most controversial stunts, including the university tours and the embassy protests, are planned months in advance by teams of PR experts who view the creators as disposable assets. The expectation is that Bonnie is a solo entrepreneur in total control, but the reality is that she is a highly managed product. Per the report, these agencies often take the lion's share of the profit while leaving the creator to deal with the permanent legal and reputational damage. When the brand disaster eventually peaks and the income starts to dip, the agency can simply move on to the next creator,